Hello everybody, welcome back to Crochet Through Corona. At the end of our last session, we finished up with all our tentacles on our, on our base. So we've got our inner tentacles and our outer tentacles all now nicely attached. And so today we're moving on to working on the body. Now I've done this in advance and I'm just going to talk you through it because I don't want you to sit and watch me doing this for that long, and because actually a lot of it is a repeat of what we did in session 1. So you remember when you made that flat disc to make the base of our body? Well, we're going to redo that. So you need to do your magic circle again, and then 6 single crochets into the magic circle, and then increase all the way around and put your stitch marker at the end, remembering that you always need your stitch marker at the end because it's a constant spiral. And then in the next row, like we did in the first one, just go back and watch the first video. If you're struggling to remember this, please just go back and watch the first video. And it's the same colour as the body that you're going to be using for this. So actually I'm mixing my 2 different octopus JellyPals here, but that's my body for this one. So you go back and watch video 1. But we magic ring 6 single crochets into the center. Then we, in the next row, increase in each stitch round. The following row we increase and then 1 single crochet, then increase and 1 single crochet. In the next row we increase, then 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches. So increase, single crochet, increase. The row after, increase, and then 3 single crochets before your next increase, and then the next row, increase, 4 single crochets before your next increase. And that is where we got to in the end of the first video. That's how we made our base. But on this one we're going to do another round where we're going to do increase and then 5 single crochets. So that's an extra addition onto your what will be a flat circle at this point. So you're going all the way up to increase and then 5 single crochets for your last round. And then you simply do 6 rounds, they're not really rows, 6 rounds of just single crochet all the way around. And that is what then makes it into more of a dome shape. As when you stop increasing, you'll notice it just starts to pull round into this dome shape. So you then remember to do 6 rounds of just single crochet in each stitch around. And then to finish off the body, we then do a row of decreasing. So we're going to pull it in a little bit by doing a row of decreasing. I thought I'll just demonstrate how to do the decreases. So we're going to, because in amigurumi you can do a thing called an invisible decrease, so it's not quite the same as when we were doing it on the flat work. So because we're working on the outside, we're going to decrease in our first stitch. So to do that, we're going to just pull the front loop only. Now, can you see what I did there? Each stitch has got a front loop, which is this one closest to me, and a back loop, the one furthest away from me. Usually, to do our single crochet, we would go through both loops. But to do our invisible decrease, we're just going to go into the front loop, just the front loop, so the back loop of the V is still there. And then we're going to dip our hook down and go underneath the front loop of the second stitch as well, she says, making it look more complicated than it is. And then you'll have both loops on your hook plus your original loop, so 3. And then you yarn over and pull through, and yarn over and pull through. So the second part of that is just like a normal single crochet. The only difference is you're getting the 2 loops onto your hook to start with. So I'll just demonstrate that again. You've just finished the rounds of just single crocheting round. That was your 6th round. Then we insert our hook underneath the front loop only of that first stitch, and then the front loop only of the second stitch, yarn over and pull through both of those loops, and then yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops, and that is your decrease. Then we're going to do 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we do another decrease. I'm just making sure there's enough yarn for me to show that for you. Okay, so I'm going to do another decrease now. So underneath the front loop only, and I'm pulling back round to go underneath the front loop only of the next one. Yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through, and then another 5. And this basically counteracts that extra round that we put in at the top and just pulls it back in again. 5, and I should not talk while I'm doing this because it makes it too tricky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're decreasing again. Just making sure I've only got those 2 front loops, and that the reason we do that is because it makes it less bulky when you do the decrease. It's less obvious on your work. If you do it the way that we were doing it on the flat works, then it's a bit more visible and it creates quite a gappy, holey section, which when you're stuffing you don't want a hole, so it makes it much neater. And then another decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and another decrease. And make sure when you've finished your decrease that you're careful of where you start your next stitch, because if you don't do it right, you could be ending up going back into your decrease like that, which would then just re-add the stitch, which would counteract the point. So just be careful, because if you can see there, that stitch is being pulled into the decrease, so it's this one here that I need to start on, not the one where this bit's being pulled up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, final decrease, and the front loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've kind of messed up a little bit there because I should have had 5, so it means while I'm talking I've lost track somewhere, so I'm going to go back and double check that row when I finish this video, but you don't need to see me do that. So it's decrease, and then 5 single crochets, and then decrease. I can already see where I've gone wrong. That's 6 single crochets when it should only be 5 before my decrease. So I'm going to go back and correct that bit there. But you don't cast off when you've finished the work, because we will need this still attached to then attach it to our body in the next video. So hopefully that's made some sense. Follow the first video to do the increases. Add an extra row of increasing by doing an increase and then 5 single crochets. Then 6 rows of just single crochet round, and then a final row of decrease, 5 single crochets, decrease, 5 single crochets, and repeat that round. And that will just pull your body in a little bit, and it will also take it back to the same size as our base for when we attach it together. All right, if it doesn't look quite the same size, don't panic. It's probably just because your material stretched a little bit, and that really doesn't matter. We will be pulling it all in when we stitch it all together in the next round. Happy hooking and enjoy part 4.